Hello everyone and welcome to ZOR Tier 2 here on this Thursday evening for the French Grand Prix here at Circuit Paul Ricard. We have a little bit of technical difficulties with the stream, but we're coming to you via recording with 3 minutes left in this short qualifying session. Currently we have Puff Digital on pole by 400s to Sam, and then to RC in the Racing Point, and then Soy Loco and Alt Maverick in the top 5. Joining me today in the commentary box on this very odd Thursday evening is Camden. Hello, Camden.
How's it going?
Yeah, as I said, it's been a very interesting evening. We had everything under control, and then seems everything decided to break on me. So
yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I think we have RC with a little bit of an off. Over in the third sector, around turn 13. Gonna try and find someone on a lap. We have P2 man in the Red Bull, Sam M, coming through turn 12 on an out lap, and then we have Soy Loco behind him in the Williams, and then his William teammate Terminal Deity. All three of them are all on out laps. I think we then have Arbiga, who's also on an out lap. Everybody here seems to be on an out lap. And then I think it is Janet in the Racing Point on an outlap as well.
Yeah, it looks like Sam is just beginning his lap, coming out of the DRS straight into turns 1 and 2. This is one of the most difficult parts of the track to get perfect. He did a pretty good job through there, though.
Yeah, right now on board with Lit Romney, who's the closest person to finishing a lap, coming through turn 13 and 14 in the Mercedes. I don't know by how much he's up. He's currently on a 31.3, which is about 2 seconds off of pole. Coming through the last corner now, getting pretty decent traction, going to open up that DRS, and now onto the very long pit straight towards the finish line. Derating just a little bit before the line. He is going to go P10 and improve by 7 tenths. Getting that much amount of time and still not moving up that many places is kind of a bummer for him.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of wear on his tires, and I think at this point he just needs to go for another lap, considering that there's only 1 minute left in qualifying. But like I said, there's wear on those tires, and I don't think he'll put up a faster lap. Maybe he surprises me, but it looks like he'll be coming from the back this race, and it looks like we have a handful of guys making a last-ditch effort to get a better lap in, but right now it's Puff barely ahead by Sam right now.
Yeah, Sam coming through the last sector very nice through turn 12 and turn 13. Could have kept it a little bit more to the right side. And then through 14 and 15, the last corner. Not getting on that exit curb, which is crucial for good traction. Having a little bit of oversteer, though, maybe just a little bit too greedy. Derating towards the start-finish line. He is going to improve by 4.5 tenths and go pole on a 28.7, which is a very, very good lap from the man in the Red Bull.
Yeah,
very good time. Who's invalidated. Yeah.
First one in the 128s.
Yeah, and solidly in that in the 128s. I believe Terminal Deity may have made a mistake, and he's going again. Puff coming through the first sector. Biga coming to the line. He's down a second right now, so I don't think he's going to be improving here. But he should be starting another lap. We just had Janet cross the line. I don't know if he was invalid. He might have been. Scavney going P2. A little bit, I didn't really see him coming to the line, but he's going to be the first person to finish in this qualifying session. He's the second person in the 128. Is RC going to finish here, or is he going to go for a lap? I know the timer's done. He still looks to be driving, so I'm not too sure if there's a rule about that in ZOR, but we'll have to look out for that in the steward's chat. And now we have Alt Maverick coming out of the last corner, opening up that DRS. He's going to slide just a little bit towards the right side of that pit wall. He's going to go on a 29.1, which is a good lap. He's going to put him P3, but I do believe we have Puff, who was the provisional pole sitter for a few minutes there, in P4 currently, coming through turn 15. He's going to have a little bit of understeer, though, on the apex, and he's going to have not the greatest of runs through that last corner. Short shifting up into 8th gear, going P2 on a 28.8. He's going to be really happy with himself there.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid lap. He's just a 10th off of Sam. Looks like Soy Loco put in a 129.17, a little bit behind Maverick, so good lap for Soy Loco. But yeah, RC, it looks like he's still putting in a lap. Weird,
yeah,
considering
goes fourth.
crossed the line after the timer expired. Jinnit, nice time for him, a little bit better than Maverick. So Maverick starting P5 as of now, and we still have guys like RC who need to cross the line.
Yep. RC, yeah, who did start his lap after the after the checkered flag. So I don't know if he's gonna finish this lap or he's gonna take that lap time and go with it, as he does go P4 in front of his new Racing Point teammate. So yeah, he should be happy with that one, but it's a little bit of a controversial lap time.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, Jinnit will be in Tier 2 for the remainder of the season as a championship driver. So look for some good constructor points for Racing Point. And yeah, I mean, Maverick starting in 6th, Scavney in 3rd. Coxie is no longer racing this season, so really it's between those two at the top of the championship. But we have quite a battle from about 4th to 8th. They are separated from, looks like 13 points, like I said, from 4th to 8th right now.
Yeah.
In the standings.
Yeah. Yeah, it is it is a pretty close championship. Scavney just a little bit ahead of Alt Maverick. I think he's 21 points. No, yeah, 21 points ahead of Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick starting P6, Scavney starting P3. So Scavney should have the advantage tonight, but you never know. You could have some traffic getting away and maybe give you a little bit of wing damage, but we'll have to see.
And I noticed something too. It looks like everybody qualified on the softs, so it looks like nobody is going with the alternate strategy that was used on Monday. Interesting stuff there, but let's go through the order real quick.
Yeah, so we do have Sam M in the Red Bull on pole position by just over a tenth to Puff Digital in the Ferrari. Then you have Scavney in the McLaren, RC and Jinnit the Racing Point duo. Alt Maverick P6. I think he could have probably gotten a little bit more out of his Haas car. And then Soy Loco, Bark School, Terminal Deity, and R Bigo will round out the top 10. Then you have Lit Romney, who's going to be the first on those fresh tires, followed by Wolfsburg, Niebuhr, Hightower, who is a new driver for this race, GP Colin, Bobby Tava, JX, Eric, and Ryan. Everybody after Hightower, I believe, is a reserve for tonight.
Absolutely. And real quick, let's just go through the points. So, like we mentioned, Scavney is the leader. He has 129 points. Maverick behind him with 108. As you see, it's raining. Third now, because of Coxie being removed from the points, is Biga with 84. Then it gets close. Bark School in 4th, just ahead of Sam in 5th. Soy Loco is behind him by 3 points in 6th. Puff is in 7th with 62 points. 3 behind Soy Loco, 3 behind Puff is RC, and then 9th and 10th is Terminal and JMG. They are a little farther behind RC, but that top 10 is pretty close, especially kind of in the midfield battle there. But yeah, it looks like it's raining, so this will get very interesting.
Yeah, you also have to mention JMG's Alfa Romeo teammate, Mr. Baboon, only 2 points behind him in P11. I think Mr. Baboon was one of the contenders in Canada, so he should... I don't believe he's racing tonight, though.
Nope.
So,
nope,
yeah.
He is not here. So, and then you got guys like Lit Romney, too, and Eric, his teammate. They're both farther down in the standings, but... you could easily see one of those guys have a good race. Eric was very strong last week before getting into a couple of incidents. But, I mean, yeah, it's raining. Things can shake up. But now I understand why everybody went for the softs, because it was going to be a wet race. So, it looks like we may... did we ready up early, possibly?
I'm not
That was
too
pretty quick.
sure. Yes, Puff told them to go in the Tier 2 chat. So, yeah, hopefully no penalties for anyone. Still suffering from that Canada penalty 2
yeah,
weeks
you're
ago,
pretty familiar with those, aren't you?
yeah, let's not. Yeah, I mean, I brought it up, but let's not talk about it. But, yeah, so let's look at the strategies. I'm guessing it's not going to be too very different, as I believe the top 4 are all on inters. So, let's get up those tire strategies. Yeah, as I mentioned, everybody on intermediate tires, so it should be pretty equal. I don't know how long this rain will go for. No one mentioned it pre-race, But maybe we'll get a dry to wet, or a wet to dry classic here.
Yeah, looking at the skies, I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna clear out anytime soon, so I can imagine for at least the majority of the race will be wet. But like you mentioned, if we have a dry end to the race, that will put a wrench in everybody's strategy. But this
Yeah.
is going to test who's good on rain and who's not.
Yeah, ideally, I'd say the rain would come just before the soft tires are relevant. So it's going to be who can stretch out their intermediate tires to the soft tires, or who's going to pit early and try and get those medium, or use the degradation advantage on the mediums. But that's in my ideal world, and I'm sure it probably won't happen tonight, as I seem to be almost always wrong.
We But like I was talking about before with the racing points, they are starting 4-5, and for this race, Jinnit is using no assist, including no line, so a little bit of a new experience for him, and I think we're going to see some guys move their way up. You got Biga down in 10th. You have guys like Soy Loco in 7th. He's been pretty scary at some points this season. He's not necessarily up there in points, but he can have a couple of races where he goes up there and finishes in the podium, and obviously we have Maverick down in 6th. He's one of the top guys right now in the championship standing, so I have a feeling the start is going to be pretty insane. Monday's start was pretty crazy, but these guys are on inner, so it's definitely going to be a little more hectic.
Yeah, but as we all know, the rain is the great equalizer in F1, as stated on Twitter earlier today, I believe. So hopefully the rain will bring the field a lot closer together, and we'll have an even more exciting race in Canada, which I don't think will be possible, but we all hope. As everyone is forming up onto the grid, we do have Ryan, the reserves, slotting into their places right now. It's Eric pulling up to his yellow line and stopping right now. We are going to go to the broadcast camera with Sam M in the Red Bull on pole position for the French Grand Prix. 5 red lights. A long hold there for the Tier 2 drivers, but they are eventually out. I believe JXW getting a pretty decent start. He having to avoid someone in an Alfa Romeo. Sam M getting a pretty amazing start. Scavney, I think, is going to go up the inside of Puff, but Puff has defended that quite well. Again, the timing board just messing me up a little bit. Alt Maverick is up into 4th place from 6th. Soy Loco is going for a move on Jinnit. Which he's going to get that done. RC, I think RC might have damage.
Ooh.
Yeah, RC missing an M plate. He's causing chaos for the guys. Oh, Jinnit is spun, which is going to be interesting. 3 wide into turn 6 with the Mercedes Haas in Racing Point, as the Mercedes is speared off into the wall with contact with RC. Lit Romney coming back onto the track. Looked a little bit dangerous as they're going to go 3 wide. Niebuhr, Bobby Tava, and Lit Romney. I think Niebuhr is going to get the best out of that one, but you're going to look in behind. Eric sending it on the inside. He's going to get a double overtake on his Mercedes teammate and Bobby Tava. Bobby Tava losing out the most there. I think he lost out 3 or 4 positions in that carnage. But now we're going to go back to the front here.
Oh, Bobby Tava spins. And in the wall is Hightower.
Yeah.
That's a safety car.
Yeah, I wasn't on board with that because... Oh, Terminal's out. What happened there? He might have...
Oh!
I think he spun through turn 10 and hit the inside wall.
Yeah, and I can totally see how that happened. It looked like he maybe got too greedy through there, just going with the wide open strategy, which is turn 10. And, you know, I just don't think he was ready for the rain tires. I mean, that's what it looks like, but obviously, you know, we don't know. But, yeah, safety car. So, looks like Maverick coming into the pits.
Maybe for wing damage. I know RC will most definitely be in because of his wing damage. But I don't think anybody else would pit.
Looks like
Hightower and Bobby, because I think they got into an incident. They'll all be coming in to fix their wing damage. But yeah, that was a pretty chaotic first lap. A lot of 3 wide and maybe even 4 wide moments there. So, yeah. I didn't get to catch much at the front. I was looking more towards the midfield. But did you see anything? that I didn't.
Well, it looks like Soy Loco really benefited from that start. He's up in the third right now. Scavney is in fourth. Biga moved his way up to fifth. And as we saw before, I think the biggest loser was Jinnit. He had an incident spun out in front of most of the cars, and he is back in 14th right now. So bad start for him and his teammate. They both started up in the top 5, and him and RC have a lot of work to make up now.
Yeah, both racing points, losing 9 or more positions as long as Alt Maverick. JXW moving up the most places from 17th. He's moved up 10 places into P7, the Renault man. He is a reserve because there are no full-time drivers in that Renault. So he's looking to capitalize on this chaotic, wet France evening.
Yeah, and he said that this is one of his better tracks. And he did pretty good on Monday as well. So, he just spun out.
Oh. Wolf has gotten a severe collision with Niebuhr.
Oh. Yeah, but JX just spun out. It looked like he just had too much wheel spin and just binned it, and he couldn't get back going because everybody else was approaching him. So he lost all of his track position, and he's back there with his teammate. So bad start not only for Racing Point but for Renault as well. They're both at the back.
Well, JX still has made up one position on these last 2 laps, but he's gonna have to pit. He does have left end plate damage, so that's not going to be the greatest for him. So now Jinnit and Maverick and RC only losing 8 and 11 positions respectively. Ryan, no, actually it's Eric, the biggest winner out of this now in P9, as Bobby Tavas just retired off the track on the outside of turn 10. So I don't know what happened there. Okay, as a lot of people are pitting. We do have JXW in the Renault. That was kind of an expected pit. And then we do have Niebuhr in the McLaren getting his front wing changed as well and going onto a fresh set of intermediate tires. Okay.
So I believe the safety car probably is coming in this lap, maybe next lap. But I think this will be the end of the safety car. And we've seen, like I said before, just a complete reshuffle of the entire order. We have guys who started up front that are now at the back. We have guys who have made their way up through the field, some of them moving up more than 5 spots. So we'll have to see how this restart goes. Oh, Niebuhr a little off track. The last start was interesting. We'll have to see how this one is.
Yeah, most definitely. This one should be a little bit less chaotic, unless there are going to be people willing to send it up the inside of someone into turn 1, which is not the greatest overtaking spot on the track. I believe turn 8, which is the left-hander into the chicane as we ride on board with RC going through that corner. As RC just cut the corner just a little bit. You might have gotten a warning for that, but I'm not too entirely sure. But yeah. We should get going here if Niebuhr and JX can catch up to the field, which they should be able to. So yeah, we're going to go back up to the front of the field and go towards the broadcast camera with Sam M. As safety car should be in this lap. Which it hasn't turned off its... Oh, yeah, there we go. Safety car in this lap. Yeah.
We'll have to see how Sam controls this restart. Looks like he's going a little quick. So these guys have to be ready.
Yeah, almost slowing it right down here. I think as Sam should be going on the exit. Oh, he's really sideways on the exit of that last corner. Well, going into that last corner, but Puff not going to be able to pass him because they haven't gone past the timing line yet. But Sam has absolutely bolted. Puff getting pressured by Soto Loco. Scavney letting Ibiga through. I'm not too sure why. Nothing too interesting happening towards the back of the field, so we are going to go back on board with this top 3. So Loco pretty close to Puff, just within 3/10, going into turn 4 or 3. Now through the 3-4 chicane. and then pulling it back left for turn 5. Puff going a little bit wide on entry there. Maybe just for a better run through turn 6 and out of turn 7. Sam having a little bit of a fishtail towards the rear of that Red Bull. Soy Loco getting a much better run than Puff through turn 7. Soy Loco is going to turn on the overtake just for a little bit. Now he's going to pull out of the slipstream and try and not have that spray in his face, braking a lot later than Puff and having to go a little bit straight on to avoid the Ferrari. So yeah, it seems Puff is able to stay with Sam, but also holding up Soy Loco so his teammate Arbigger can get back involved, as we do have Bark School also on the back of Scabney. He's going to be close enough for a move here into turn 10.
And it looks like right behind them is Eric in 7th.
Someone's off.
That's
Lit Romney.
Lit Romney, yeah. And
yeah,
he
he took
got
out someone as
a lot
well.
of damage.
GP Colin.
Ooh. Yeah, and GP Colin is facing backwards right now.
Yeah.
Still in 8th gear. There we go.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, Lit Romney without a front wing. I don't believe GP has any damage, so that's good for him. He's going to lose quite a lot of time, though. I'm surprised that wasn't a safety car. Barstool picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is unfortunate for Sam's teammate. Sam setting the fastest lap as expected.
GP Colin into the wall again.
Maybe just giving up the ghost there. Soy Loco gets a penalty, or a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners. Barstool has gone onto the wet tires.
Interesting. So that could explain why these drivers are having kind of a bit of trouble right now. I'm seeing a lot of people making mistakes. Yeah, and it looks like Lit Romney on the wets too, so maybe we could have a wet tire race happen soon.
Yeah, if you go on board with one of the cars, you can see that it's really chucking it down here in the France countryside.
Yeah. And like I was saying before, Eric has made up 12. I believe he started at the back. I think he's made up 12 spots.
Yeah,
I think he started. Let me check that.
Yeah, 12 spots. Ryan,
great
just
start for
him,
Eric.
11.
Huh.
So,
great start for him. And he's on the back of Scabney, too.
Not too many battles going on besides the top 4, and then Eric on the back of Scabney, and then Ryan within a second of Wolf. As Eric just a little bit sideways as Wolf is off, and he's gone! He's flipped into the air on the exit turn 10 on the inside. He's over the barrier on the side of his car, which is a very interesting sight. But yeah, that corner is going to catch out a lot of cars, as we do have a virtual safety car for that incident.
Only a virtual safety car? I mean, the dude flew, but...
Yeah,
man, that's
over the barrier.
Big incident. I mean, that.
Yeah.
I think in modern F1 they would have stopped the race for that. I don't know, but
I think the barrier would be destroyed. But I think most of the people are going to be coming to the pits here for those wet tires. Looking towards Bark School, Lit Romney, and GP Colin. This virtual safety car is really going to allow them to take advantage of that, as everybody's going onto the wets. It seems. Well, Puff has.
It looks like big. Okay, interesting. So it looks like the drivers really don't know what to do, but I could imagine you probably should go on the wets, because like you said, the rain is really coming down. And interesting strategy from some guys like Biga and Scabney, who have decided not to pit, and they just stayed out completely.
Yeah, I think they should have pit, taken the fresh tires. I know it's only been 6 laps, and most of those 6 laps have been taken up by a safety car. But it is a free pit stop. The virtual safety car came out right when they were next to the entrance of the pit lane. So yeah, to sum up those pit stops, Puff, Soy Loco, Alt Maverick, Jinnit, JXW, High Tower, and Lit Romney, and GP Colin all coming into the pits to fit the wet tires. Sam is the only one to come into the pits to fit the inters. The previous leader, he has lost out track position to Soy Loco and Puff. Maybe getting a front wing change. I'm not too sure. Maybe he was just held up into the pit lane. But he is quite far off of the Ferrari and the Williams, who were once behind him.
And he is losing ground to Bark School too, so I think this was a big mistake for him putting on the inners, because Bark School is just eating him up right now. Ooh, on the curbs is Bark School, but he was really closing in on him, so I think Sam will probably come back in and put the wets on.
Yeah, I think the right call was definitely the wets here, as It's Eric has gotten past Gavney, but I still do have the green arrow. I wonder if everyone's going to be pit, as Eric's looked to be a little bit sideways. Big is in. Eric is going to stay out. Scavney is also going to stay out, the championship leader. No, never mind. He's going to take a late dive into the pit lane, which I think is smart from him. If Eric is going to take the glory and lead a lap, as well as Ryan is going to be staying out, and RC in the Racing Point is going to be coming in, probably getting some tips from Jinnit, his Racing Point teammate.
Yeah, it looks like most people... Ooh, Sam, penalty.
Yeah, this race has really gone from amazing to very, very bad for him. He's going to be falling back towards the end of the field, making the wrong call on the strategy, and then also picking up that 5-second speeding penalty. But Ryan and Eric, I don't think they've made the right call unless this race is going to dry out very, very quickly. I think they should have pit and gone into the wet tires much earlier than this.
Yeah, and I think the biggest winners out of this have been Puff and Soy Loco. They are both pretty far ahead of everybody else, so they definitely made the right call pitting when they did and pitting for the wets.
Yeah, as you said, Puff setting a purple first sector and opening up that gap to Soy Loco behind to 1.1 seconds as Soy Loco picks up 3-second time penalty for extending on the exit of turn 7, which is an interesting place to extend, but I'm sure it's very difficult for these drivers to adapt to these conditions.
Yeah, and penalties, we haven't talked about those yet, but those can definitely play into a factor too. Like you mentioned, these drivers aren't necessarily familiar with the track and how it's adjusting with the weather, so I can see potentially a lot of penalties from these guys, but I think the winner is going to have very few penalties today.
Yeah, they're going to have to, especially if there's a late safety car, because there has already been 3 retirements in this race and 1 full safety car and 1 BSC. As Sam through the chicane and on exit of the chicane is going to be an overtake, which is an interesting choice, especially since it is wet. He is on the back of Hightower for 13th currently, not going to be picking up any more points if he does make this move. Ooh, Hightower is on the inside curb, and Hightower is going to end up letting Sam through, which I think is a smart move from him. Sam's just going to be able to get on with his race and close down RC, who he's currently 11.2 seconds behind. As Puff Digital, as I mentioned earlier, sets that purple first sector, and he's going to go on to set fastest lap. As he has pulled up another 3 tenths or 4 tenths to Soy Loco behind.
And this is a big gamble by Eric, but say for whatever reason we get a safety car in the next couple of laps, this will be huge for Eric. But I don't see this going anywhere. Like you mentioned, if we don't get a safety car, then he is going to lose out on a ton of track position. And like I said before, he was having a great race. He was inside the top 6 before all of this changed the race and all of this chaos happened. So hopefully things go his way, but it looks like things aren't going his way. He just got a penalty.
A little bit of a commentator's curse. They're just starting to talk about him.
Yep,
his good
always.
fortune, and then it goes to bad fortune, and then he picks up a penalty, which is never good. Scavney, I think, has made a mistake. He's going to be falling behind Jinnit in JXW. I quickly saw that Jinnit set a purple 3rd sector on that previous lap, so he's looking to pick up the pace, as JXW, that gap has pretty much been staying the same recently, as Jinnit, making a little bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 9 there, out of the chicane. He's going to let JXW and Scavney back through. RC not close enough to capitalize on that, but Jinnit is going to be just about a second behind Scavney. Jinnit is really going to be mad at himself for that one.
Yeah. Well, he's lucky he didn't hit the barriers there. He's very lucky that he's still in this race and still has all of his wings on. But yeah, I'm sure he's kicking himself. But speaking of his teammate, he just got a penalty. So yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot of penalties right now.
Yeah. As Puff Digital, or Ryan has just let Puff through out of the last corner, turn 15. Yeah, Ryan and Eric definitely making the wrong call on strategy here, but I believe 2 laps ago, that gap to Ryan was 5 seconds, and he has really closed it down as JXW has set fastest lap on a 46.7. So, yeah, the midfield looking pretty quick here, as everyone is, as Soy Loco has picked up a penalty behind Ryan. Yeah, Soy Loco really getting held up behind Ryan, who is on the intermediate. Soy Loco on the obvious better tires here in the Williams. The Alfa Romeo should be letting him through quite soon.
Oh, he is really holding him up. He just needs to just move out of the way like he did for Puff. Yeah. Looks like he'll get by him, but yeah, he lost a lot of track position to Puff.
Yeah, he lost quite a lot of time, losing probably around 7/10 to the Ferrari man. As Puff is going to be let through by GP Colin as well. GP Colin already a lap down, pitting or getting into that incident with Lit Romney right after the safety car restart.
And it looks like Bark School. Looks like he had, before JXW had his fastest lap, he also put down a fastest lap as well. So these wets are definitely coming into their own right now, and you could tell he is eating up Ryan right now. These inners are definitely bad right now. You just got to get off of them.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Eric has pretty good pace, even though he is on the inners. That gap, keeping that gap over 9 seconds, but now it has fallen down to a mere 8.6 seconds as it has just updated past that start-finish straight. As Bark School has gotten past Ryan on track, they were also both let through by GP Colin. As Arbig is going to go to the inside of Ryan. He's going to be towards the side pod and not the front wheel of Ryan. I think Ryan is going to have to let through Arbig, who is fourth or third in the championship on 84 points. Arbig looking up to pick up good constructors points as well as Puff are doing a really good job tonight.
Yeah, and Eric, like you mentioned before, I think we've got a pretty good little rain racer right here. He's holding his ground right now on those 9-lap inners and really isn't losing that much to Puff. So he's doing a pretty good job. And like I mentioned before, if we get a safety car or for whatever reason this rain lets up a little bit, which I don't know about you, it looks like it's letting up a little bit. So if we have to go back onto the inners, this is a huge win for Eric, but he may have to change those at some point. I don't know if those will necessarily go all the way to the end. But this is a great gamble by Eric if this is going to work out.
I think those inners can go probably max 15 laps, so he's going to have to pit in the next 5 or so laps. Yeah, but Eric losing a lot of time right now as Ryan is just falling down the order. I think he really should pit unless he's trying to make those inters last and go towards a drier period in the race. But at this point, I'm not too sure if it ever will lighten up. But I'm sure your eyes have something else to say about that, as Alt Maverick is on the back of Arbiga. Arbiga in that factory Ferrari has getting Ferrari engines, but not having the greatest of cars in real life. Alt Maverick just going to follow Arbiga through the third sector. Third sector not the easiest place to overtake, as Lit Romney has gotten into a crash. Niebuhr isn't close enough to see that right now, but we go back on board with him later, as there is a full safety car because of Lit Romney's crash. Maybe another one over the barrier.
Eric, I told you, this could be a great gamble. Yep, and it looks like Lit Romney crashed in that same area, but yeah. Eric, with the strategy of the day right there, I believe that I could see most of these guys potentially pitting. I think you're going to see a lot of them pit for fresher tires, and we already have some people pitting right now, Ryan and Hightower.
Yeah. This has actually been quite the call from Eric, just hoping for a safety car since he made that bad strategy choice. But it most definitely was the right one, obviously calling him out. I was on that strategy, but it's definitely going to work for him now. I think everyone should be pitting here for fresh, wet tires. So, yeah, Eric is going to be in the net lead if everyone pits behind.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I mean, this really has worked out for Eric, and you know what, that's what you got to do. He was kind of in the midfield, wanted to work his way up. I kind of questioned at first whether he needed to do that, but obviously this is going to work out, and say for whatever reason he is able to finish up front after starting 18th. I think we have a driver of the day right there. I mean, he would be I think the only candidate for driver of the day if he's able to at least finish inside the podium. But yeah, it looks like he's going to pit right now.
Yeah, I think it would be very smart for everyone to pit here. Unless Puff is going to try and take track position, maybe Soy Loco even off of Eric. But yeah, Puff pulling into the pits, Eric into the pits, Soy Loco is also going to be into the pits. Bark School will be into the pit lane. Our Biga, I wonder if Biga is going to double stack. Biga trying to make a gap to his Ferrari teammate. Biga is going to pull into the pit lane, and so is All Maverick and JX. I think everyone should be pitting here, as Scavney has the gear glitch for me, so I'm not going to be riding on board with the McLaren. As Scavney is in, Jinnet's in. I wonder if RC will come in. He should. RC is gonna come in very, very late. Ryan is most likely gonna stay out because he has just pit for fresh wets off of those intermediate tires while not under the safety car. So he has lost out quite a lot of positions. Sam should be in. Hightower has pitted onto the intermediates quite far down the field, so just trying to make something different work. As Sam actually has not pit, trying to gain track position. Ooh, actually, as everyone is going onto the inters.
Yep, and that I think I was right. I think the rain was letting up a little bit, and this is going to change things once again. I mean, this race has just been a seesaw with strategy, it seems like, and we're only on lap 12.
Ooh, okay. Hightower almost completely cutting the last corner after going wide at turn 14. He was almost in the pit lane, how far he went off the track there. But, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, you gotta look, too. It looks like Sam is still on the wets as well as Ryan, so maybe the wets will be the right call. I don't know what to think anymore. This is just crazy with the strategy, but I don't know. Sam and Ryan trying something different. That's what Eric did, and Eric really won, so I don't know. Maybe this will work out for them, but I think inners is the right call. I really think the rain is let up, but you never know.
Yeah. Obviously, Eric getting very, very lucky with that safety car caused by Lit Romney's Mercedes on the entry of turn 11, exit turn 10. Just about here as we watch on board with Ryan. Ryan and one other person, Sam, losing out from that safety car. Sam pitting before and then not pitting under the safety car. So he's lost out. Sam's race has really not been going very well. He did start on pole position in the dry and then has just fallen down the order due to mistakes and wrong strategy calls.
So, remember GP Collins' issue before? So, he said that his wheel lost power. So that explains why he was kind of having issues there getting back going after he crashed with that whole debacle. So, looks like some people in the pits.
Yeah, GP is in, Ryan is in, and Sam are all in to the pit lane. Ryan is going to lose a lot of positions because he has double stacked with his Alfa Romeo teammate. So Sam should be able to get out in front of him. Actually, I'm not too sure how far away Sam is. Sam is just getting dropped off the jacks right now. So Ryan actually should be able to keep in front of the Red Bull, which he has, but he's going to lose extra positions because of that double stack. Yeah, Hightower getting 2 places from those pit stops.
Looks like Niebuhr is still on the wets. He's a little farther back right now, but looks like he's just trying to go with something different, perhaps. But I can imagine the safety car will probably be coming in this time.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, as long as Niebuhr and Sam can close up to the back of the field before probably turn 12, which is that off-camber left-hander with that deadly curb on the inside. As long as they close up, which they most definitely will. Safety car should be in this lap, and we can get this race restarted onto lap 14 of the French Grand Prix here with Zenith Online Racing Tier 2.
And I noticed something too, so if you go back to RC and Hightower, that battle for the last point spot, right in between them is the lap car of GP Collins, so there's going to be a little bit of separation there at the restart between the last point and the first spot with no points, so a little bit of a buffer there between Hightower and RC. But yeah, I can imagine safety car will be in this lap. We'll have to see, yep, and we'll have to see what Eric does, what he does for a pace.
Yeah. On my screen, I'm not sure if it's on your screen as well, but GP Collins, who is the only lap car in this race, in between, as you said, P10 and P11, has left the session or has lagged out. So it's going to be a real difficulty for these last four guys.
Yeah. Looks like Eric going with a slower pace than Sam did on the last safety car. He's going about 50 miles an hour right now, so
Yeah, about half the
we'll
speed.
see how this goes.
Yeah.
I remember he got into an incident under safety car while leading safety car last week. Looks like this will be clean though.
Yeah, it's Eric gonna is gonna make a very, very good restart, pulling over a second on to Puff Digital. Soy Loco's gonna be close behind him. Barkskull also within a second, as well as All Maverick and Bigot, JXW, Scavney, Jinnit, RC, all the top 10, and then a 2-second gap to Hightower as those last 4 guys will have to be lapping GP Cullen. I don't know if there's gonna be any incidents with that lap car though. Sam and Ryan getting a little bit separated, but we are going to go back towards the front as we have this battle for 3rd place with P2, 3, and 4, the Ferrari, the Williams, and the Red Bull all fighting for that 2nd and 3rd podium positions. It's Eric getting off to a very, very good restart, but now Puff closing in just about 2/10 through the back end of that first sector. Soy Loco really on the back of Puff here. We don't have the greatest camera angle here, but Soy Loco is going to go to the inside. Down towards turn 8 with the overtake. He has already used 50% of that 100% he has saved up, as Buff Digital is actually going to outdo him on the brakes into turn 8 and through turn 9. Really good from Puff there, defending his positions. Not anyone really close besides this, or besides 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. All Maverick, if these guys keep battling up front, All Maverick should be able to get onto the back of this battle. We are going to go on board with Barkskull to watch these 2nd and 3rd. Puff going a little bit wide there on entry, but going to bring it back for a good apex and a good exit towards turn 12. Again, Puff going wide as Barkskull is actually going to send it up the inside, as we do have a spinner Niebuhr on those wets. The only driver on the wets has spun onto turn 10. Barkskull sending out the inside of turn 12. Kind of a half-hearted move, though, on Soy Loco. Not going to be able to do anything or really upset that Williams car. Soy Loco and Barkskull both on the inside curb for the last corner. That's not going to help their run, as Soy Loco has dropped down to 8/10 behind Puff and derating actually across the line and back on that overtake once he crosses that start-finish line, as now we have about a second gap between 1st and 2nd and a second gap between 2nd and 3rd. Ooh, All Maverick. Yeah, Barkskull losing out to All Maverick here.
Well, not yet. It looks like he's still hanging tough.
Ooh. Yeah, the Red Bull really defending his position as All Maverick has cut a corner and picked up a 3-second time penalty. All Maverick is going to get squeezed to the inside of turn 5 there, and he's going to have to give up that attempted overtake on Barkskull. Red Bull defending his pace very, very well, but he also has lost a second to Soy Loco. Soy Loco has closed up 6/10 to the back of Puff Digital. Puff Digital not being the strongest in the first sector, it seems. Also losing 2/10 to Eric. We are going to go on board with JX. JX not close enough for a move on Arbiga into turn 8, which is the preferred overtaking spot here in Paul Ricard. JXW not on the overtake, but Arbiga really, really slow in a straight line. JX looking to the inside of turn 10. He's not going to do anything about that overspeed, though, as Arbiga, or turn 10, not the greatest overtaking spot, even in the wet. Or also in the wet. But yeah, no one else really that close.
It looks like Soy Loco has closed up to Puff. He's right on the back of Puff, about half a second behind, and Eric has really started to pull away. I think he might have a penalty, but it looks like everyone behind him has at least one, so Eric is in pretty good position right now. As long as he doesn't make many mistakes, he's in prime position to have a good finish this race.
Yeah, it's Eric trying to make up for his disappointing Canadian Grand Prix last weekend, starting I think 2nd, and then going on to DNF towards the latter stages of that race. So again, making up, having a bad qualify, or gonna do the exact opposite of last week and have a terrible qualifying and then finish high up in the order here in France. Sam has picked up a penalty. Your pole sitter not having the best of times, down to P12, 1.3 seconds off the back of Ryan, who is a reserve. So yeah, just not having one of the best nights.
Soy Loco, a little squirrely off exit of turn 6, has allowed Barkskull to close in a little bit. He's within 5/10 right now, as well as Maverick. Maverick is right on the back of Barkskull, so we kind of have a little train from, I would say, 3rd to 5th. Puff is starting to pull out a little bit, but 3rd to 5th is anybody's game right now for that final podium spot.
Yeah, as Puff was a little bit off the track there on the exit of turn 10. Maybe picking up a warning for that, as our JXW is right on the back of Arbiga. Arbiga trying to close into that gap to that 3-person train, as you said. Actually, no, it's more of a 4-person train now, as Puff Digital is losing a little bit of time through this the beginning of this last sector. Losing time to Eric and Soy Loco. Eric has pulled over a 2-second gap now to the Ferrari in second place. Barkschool really on the back of Soy Loco here, just about 3/10. Super close to the very, very late apex of turn 14, going wide to that last corner. This is going to have to give Alt Maverick a chance. Alt Maverick early on the overtake, going to get very good traction out of the last corner, most definitely in the rich fuel mix. Barkschool's going to fight it back, though. Actually, no, he's not. He's just going to let Alt Maverick go. Almost hitting in the back of the Haas driver, almost, or could have spun him around. But Alt Maverick is finally going to get that move done and try and chase down that last podium spot, who is currently occupied by Soy Loco.
Looks like Vega has closed in on Barkschool right now, so this is really allowing a lot of people to close in, including JXW. Looks like Scavney is gaining a little bit of track position, so all of this battling is really allowing more people to get into the picture, and a good exit for Barkschool. I don't think he'll have enough of a run to pass Maverick here, but I think Barkschool can easily get back by him right here as Sam picks up a penalty.
Yeah, I believe that is Sam's third penalty. The pole sitter, as I mentioned before, not having one of the greatest nights of his league racing career down in P12. But his teammate is doing pretty good. Inside the top 5 for now. Not too sure about penalties, but having a very, very solid race for the Red Bull Racing team.
Yeah, and this is all big for that tight points battle from about 4th to 8th, and even 3rd, really. Barkschool is only 12 back as Sam is out.
VSC, let's go on board with Hightower. Oh yeah, Sam is just put into the wall, where many have tonight. On the exit of turn 10, where we saw Wolf go over a barrier. Sorry, but yeah, again, Sam probably just giving up the ghost. They're just full sending it through turn 10 and then just sliding his way into the safer barrier.
And you want to make sure you don't speed under the VSC. Looked like Eric got pretty far ahead of Puff, but I think he'll be alright.
Yes. Eric maintaining that 1 second lead to Puff. As we do have just about 7 laps left here at Circuit Paul Ricard. Yeah, we have about 7 laps here. These intermediates should be able to make it to the end as we are green again. It's Eric losing so much time to Puff. Puffing has a really, really good exit through turn 6 and through turn 7. He's going to be, I'm guessing, losing a little bit of time, but Puff on that overtake button as Hightower has retired on track, which is interesting. We're going to go on board with GP. Sorry for not watching the battle up front for those podium positions. Actually, Hightower has hit the wall going into turn 3, losing his left front. Not too sure how he did that, but that is a question that you will have to ask the Renault man.
I'm going to point out too, so the stream, the 60 minutes is almost up. In 11 minutes it's up. I don't think we'll make it to the end, so we could probably soon end this part and then start a second part. Yeah. But I don't think we'll make it to lap 27.
Yeah, okay. If there's another VSC or safety car, I'll just save clip and then start recording again. But yeah, as we mention our technical difficulties tonight, we do have Soy Loco on the back of Puff. We also had JXW looking for a move on Arbiga into turn 11, which didn't result in anything. The Renault man trying to make a move on the Ferrari. Actually, JXW maybe picking up a little bit of wing damage because he has lost a lot of time, which he has not actually. But yeah, that that latest VSC is really well, I guess stretched out this top 4. It's Eric regaining his 2-second lead, and then Soy Loco still on the back of Puff. Alt Maverick just about 7/10 behind the Williams man, and then Barkschool 1.5 back.
Looks like teammates Jinnit and RC are ninth and 10th right now. Those are for the final points, and Jinnit's gained a little bit on Scavney, as 6th through, I'd say ninth are pretty close right now, but I think the closest battle right now is with Puff and Soy Loco for 2nd, as Soy Loco goes a little wide right there.
Yeah. I think it has stopped raining though. There's no more rain on my screen.
Ooh.
The track is just still damp. It is starting, the clouds are starting to dissipate, so maybe we could have a very, very late soft stint here, or maybe people are just gonna stick to these inters and try and stretch them out, on a damp track. Alt Maverick looking for a movement, on Soy Loco, into the last corner. As our big is into the pit lane as it's Eric sets fastest lap. So yeah, it's definitely drying out. Once you have people starting to improve on their PBs, the track is starting to dry out. As I mentioned, our big going onto the soft tires. He's gonna make that early gamble. He's gonna try and do something different. I believe he was in about P6 behind Barkskull in front of JXW's RC7 down in P9 has picked up a penalty. Big is going to come up behind, or in front of GP Colin and Niebuhr, as Niebuhr has actually retired through turn 10, claiming the cars of many, many people tonight. Maybe they're causing a VSC or even a safety car that would probably help Biga. But yeah, I think Biga is actually pitted way, way, way too early here. It is still very, very damp out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I still see mist coming from the track, so I just think it's way too early. You can see he's definitely struggling, so I think he made the right call. I just think it was too early. I think you give it a couple more laps, and I think that's the right opportunity. But yeah, I think he's going to regret doing this. He is struggling right now.
Yeah, the last 3 corners of that first sector, he's lost 2.2 seconds to Ryan, who is in P10 at the very bottom end of the points. Right in the back of RC, though. RC having, I think, 2 penalties in the racing point. Yeah, RC's teammate also on the back of Scavney, 5 tenths behind, but we are going to go on board with Barkskull. Barkskull is just within 4 tenths of Alt Maverick in the Haas. Barkskull going a little bit wide. Actually, Barkskull's going to probably take the same call as Biga and come into the pit lane and put on those soft tires. I think this is probably the wrong move from him, as JXW is also going to come into the pit lane and probably fit those soft tires. Yeah, Barkskull's coming into the pits for the softs. And so is JX. These guys are going to make pretty early gambles on those soft tires and hopefully get them to work, which they most definitely are not going to. But yeah, that has really stretched out the gap between these top 4. It's Eric still about 2 seconds in front of Puff, and then Puff pulling out to 1.5 seconds in front of Soy Loco, and then Soy Loco having a second gap back to Alt Maverick, and then Alt Maverick having a pretty comfortable back gap to the McLaren of Scavney, just about 1.8 seconds behind. These top 4 are really pulling from the rest of the guys. Just from the rest of the field.
I'm really interested to see how Eric does with these changing conditions, because obviously he's been really good in the wet conditions, but we're going to have to see how this translates to dry, because Puff is really starting to gain on Eric, and there's only a few laps left in this race. There's just under 6 remaining, so this will be very interesting on whether Eric can hold off, because as of now it looks like he's going to pick up his first victory on the season, but he's definitely doesn't have it. Yeah, these conditions are changing and Puff is closing.
Yeah, Puff has gained 2 tenths in the over the course of this lap, not being too close to challenge Eric just yet. Puff closing in another 10th through turn 12 and 13. I wonder if Eric's going to pit. Eric is not going to pit, which is a smart choice from him. Puff not going to pit. Soy Loco, the top 4 are not going to pit either. I wonder if Scavney's going to make a tough call and come into the pit lane, which he is not going to. Locking up, just making him to see him to go into the pit lane. His RC is going to pull into the pit lane. He's going to make that call. He was behind Jinnit, his teammate, so going to have to pit earlier than him to get preferred strategy. Puff Digital setting fastest lap, as we mentioned earlier, closing on an Eric just about 3 tenths and pulling from Scavney, or not Scavney, Soy Loco, sorry, the Williams behind.
Oh, Puff penalty. Puff. That's big.
I think Eric has 1 or 2 though, so I think Puff might be good towards the end of this race. Puff up by a 10th in the first sector, improving on that fastest lap. But yeah, the track is definitely starting to dry out. Those intermediates are going to start whining just because of this dry track not having any wet patches to go through.
Now, here's what has benefited Eric today. He took a gamble and stayed out on those inners and got a safety car. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays out here and tries to make these go to the end while everybody else pits. I would not be surprised if, not necessarily him, but somebody does that and tries to gamble for this win. As
Ooh.
DRS is enabled, that is big.
These guys are going to have to pit now. They're most definitely going to have to. I don't think anybody is going to be double stacking. I really wish we had a safety car going onto these soft laps so we could restart the recording, but that does not matter, as Alt Maverick is going to go to the outside of Soy Loco, trying to replicate one such driver or one such hash driver last night.
No.
They're going to make contact for P3, just getting a little bit desperate, I think. Outside of turn 12 is not the greatest. The Soy Loco is actually off the track, not being able to adapt to these drier conditions on those intermediates. Alt Maverick really closing up to the back as Eric is going on.
Yeah, I would start the second half or the second clip. This would be a good time to do it. But yeah. I would just save this and then just start again.
Yeah.
Because we're almost out. We're 3 minutes from 60.